Hi, good afternoon. Operation Labashna for a person prepare for CSE 2025. Which month in 2024 should he or she cover and consolidate current affairs topics? From the January 2024 till May 2025. January 2024 to May 2025, you need to prepare if you are attempting for the 2025. Okay, Edukemy is conducting its open mock test, Priyas. It will be conducted on the 28th. Those who are attempting the 2024, they can attempt the Priyas on 28th April. The first Priyas was very successful. More than 300 students appeared in the offline mode, as well as a few also appeared in the online mode. So we are conducting this test. This will be completely on the basis of the UPSC CSE pattern. We will conduct both the tests, general studies and the CSET. The timing are the 9:30 to 11:30 and 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. Okay. So today's topic are very interesting topic. Topic is related to the drought in the eastern flowing river in India. As you are the geography student, so you have aware about the eastern flowing rivers. How many eastern flowing rivers? Major rivers in India. Name? These are the tributary, the major river I am asking. Okay, ठीक है, मैं बताता हूँ. Specifically by this topic, recently you have heard about the crisis in Bangalore, water crisis in Bangalore, water crisis in the region of Telangana, water crisis in the region of Andhra. So according to the CWC report, CWC is the Central Water Commission. According to the Central Water Commission report, there are more than 13 rivers in India, in the eastern India, those who has dried up. 13 river dried up हो गई है specifically. Okay, so why this topic is important for your examination, specifically for the prelims? If you look at the trend, specifically अगर आप trend देखोगे UPSC का, they're asking those kind of the question जहाँ पे water shortage है, water dry हो गया, even at the international level, geography में specifically वही पूछते हैं. LLC 3 से 4 बार पूछ चुके हैं. Because it's going to be like dried up almost हो गया. Lakes पूछी हैं कई सारी, lakes from the African regions, those had dried up. So they are focusing on these kind of the questions that become very important for you. And these 13 rivers between the like the Mahanadi rivers and the Pennar river, the 13 rivers are new to you. Maybe a few of them are tributaries, but many of the names are new to you. So maybe they can give the names of that river and they can ask the question from it. So in today's class, we will look at the regions why the drought is increasing in the eastern India specifically. What steps can be taken by the government of India, what steps can be taken by the community, and how the trend is in India currently related to the water shortage. We will also look at the major river like the Mahanadi, we will look at the Kaveri, we will look at the Godavari, and also look at the tributary of these major rivers, because this is an important concept for you and it's known to you also. So how the question are framed according to the PSC, I will also show you. There are 2 questions already has been asked in the UPSC in 2014 and 2009, and in the mains there was a question on the drought as well. So you need to prepare accordingly कि आप लोग कोई भी टॉपिक अगर पढ़ते हैं, if you are focusing on any of the topic, your idea should be how the question can be framed on this topic. इस टॉपिक पे क्वेश्चन कैसे बन सकता है. Okay, so if we are looking at here on this map, Mahanadi, the major river, the eastern flowing river, Godavari, then Krishna, then Kaveri and Pennar. Kaveri and Pennar rivers are the major eastern flowing rivers in the country. Okay. According to the report of the CWC, at least 13 east flowing rivers between the Mahanadi and Pennar, the base in between Mahanadi and the Pennar, the 13 river dried up. So it's a shocking news for the country. A country where the perennial rivers है, all season rivers flow करता है, but in the one part of the country these rivers are drying up. So what are the reasons behind it? तो वो हम region को majorly देखेंगे कि क्या क्या region है. Before going into the region, let's see the data from the another area in the country. बाकी area में country में क्या क्या issues हैं. The Ganga river is the largest river basin in the country. flowing through the 11 states. Almost 2,86,000 villages. According to the CWC report, even the Ganga basin show a 50% decrease in the water level as comparison to the last year. So we can say that there is a continuously decrease in the water level in the Ganga river basin. If we talk about the river basin in the Kaveri, talk about the river basin of Godavari, they also showed a decrease of 33% overall water decrease as per the last year. During the monsoon time, one side in the India, in the northern western India, the rivers flood आता है, outflow होता है. On the another side, we are looking at drought condition. So this is the mismatching of the resources specifically, how we can utilize the resources from the one area of the country to the another area, or how we can harvest the water during the monsoon season. According to the data, the storage basin in the country has been declining in India. Almost more than 150 storage basin में 32% water कम हो गया. Decrease in the 32% of the water in the major storage basin. Storage basin means dam जो हम बनाते हैं, specifically on the river flow. Also we having the storage basin in some of the area जहाँ पे drought की condition बहुत ज़्यादा होती है, like the area of Telangana, Rajasthan, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra. In this area, there is a decrease in the level of the water in those storage basin. So these data, why I am saying about data 50%, 33%, did so 32, 2,86,000. These data are very important for your mains introduction part. When you are giving your view, when you are writing your answers, if you are supporting your answer with the given data according to the agency name is the Central Water Commission. If you are writing the data according to the CWC, it will fetch you the extra marks, 1 mark or the 2 marks. So that's become an important aspect here. If we are looking at the national water crisis, India has, you can write about the data, I can dictate. In India, 150 reservoirs, in the 150 major reservoirs, have only 36% of their, total capacity in the live storage. Total capacity in the live storage. 35% of the country area, 35% of the country area, facing the condition like drought. 35% of the country area facing the drought-like condition. The Kaveri, Pennar River, and rivers between Pennar and Kanyakumari are facing highly deficient condition, highly deficient water storage condition, So this is the data about the situation in the country. So as a geography student, what can be the major region? What can be the major region for drought in river system in India? What can be the major region? Any idea? That is the secondary region, the primary region. Deforestation on the bank of the river. जो आपका आइडिया है इवेपोरेशन वो इससे सोल्व हो जा रहा है. Deforestation of the on the bank of the rivers. The first major region. in India, due to the increase in the population specifically, there is a encroachment on the river basins. If there is encroachment on the river basins, then it lead to the deforestation on the river basins or on the side of the river. If there is an increase in the deforestation, that will lead to the more water evaporation and also lead to the more drainage of the water from that area. That lead to the condition of drought, specifically in those area जहां पे encroachment बहुत ज्यादा है. Second region, what can be the second region? क्या हो सकता है? अभी पढ़ा नहीं ज्योग्राफी में. What can be the second region? Yes, the second condition, the climate change. Climate change means the condition of El Nino, increase in the temperature. El Nino condition, the condition when there is a less rainfall in the Asia Pacific region, specifically in the India, that lead to the condition like drought in the most of the area. Drought like condition. Deficient rainfall during the monsoon season in the country. The second is the increase in the temperature. That's also the climate change impact. That will affect the evaporation, that will affect the resources of the water and lead to the again the drought like condition. Yes, Debagraha El Nino condition. Disturb the eco flow because of the dams. Yes, that will be the next region I will discuss here. The first is the deforestation of the bank of the river. The second region is the climate change. The climate change can be in the form of El Nino, in the form of the increase in the temperature. The third region, dams. Construction of dams. How the construction of dams is a region? Yes, Operation Labasna, weak monsoon in the case, rain-fed river के case में, yes, it can be a region. Construction of dams. How construction of dams is the region for a drought? कैसे हो सकता है? What is the usage of dam? When we are building dams on the river, it leads to a diversion of water. होता है कि नहीं होता है? Diversion of water. Second, it lead to inflow of river water. जो रिवर का एक फ्लो होता है उसको स्टॉप करता है. अगर मैं यहाँ पे डैम बिल्ड कर रहा हूं तो इससे आगे फ्लो कम होगा बिकॉज आई एम स्टोरिंग द वाटर. लेकिन रिक्वायरमेंट एज पर द क्लाइमेट चेंज, एज पर द टेम्परेचर, एज पर द यूसेज ऑफ दैट एरिया इज वेरी हाई. तो एब्जॉर्प्शन बाय द ग्राउंड, यूसेज बाय द पीपल, तो आगे जैसे ही रिवर अपने कोर्स की तरफ जाएगी दैट विल लीड टू द डिक्रीज इन द वाटर लेवल इन दैट एरिया. So how the dams, the divergence by the dams, inflow of the river water को affect करता है, directly flow of river water को affect करता है, divert करता है, that leads to the change in the river flow, and that is also the region of the drought in the rivers and the drought in those areas. How we can solve this condition? This condition can be solved. The river interlinking projects. अगर आप रिवर इंटरलिंकिंग प्रोजेक्ट्स के बारे में सुना होगा तो देयर इज अ सक्सेसफुल लिंकेज इज गोइंग ऑन द केन एंड बेतवा लिंकेज इन द मध्य प्रदेश. These are like the flowing rivers during the time of the monsoon overflowing. They are going to connect these rivers, so we can use the extra water of the Keene in the Betwa regions, and this is specifically for the Bundelkhand regions in the UP and MP. So that's linkage of the water, linkage of the rivers can solve this kind of the conditions. The fourth condition can be pollution, एग्रीकल्चर वेस्ट का फ्लो होना, flowing of industrial waste, थर्ड, और क्या हो सकता है? थिंक, what can be the other factor? Invasive species. Any example of invasive species? Water hyacinth, you can write. Water hyacinth. Domestic flow. घर का जितना भी फ्लो है, सीवेज, यू कैन सी द कंडीशन ऑफ यमुना, द सीवेज फ्लो. Agriculture waste, because we are using the huge fertilizers in agriculture, and the agriculture waste that lead to the growth in the rivers. That eutrophication term, you can listen, the eutrophication term, decrease in the oxygen level in the water bodies that lead to the death of the rivers or the death of the lakes. The next condition is the industrial waste, flowing of the industrial effluent, industrial waste, different kind of the chemicals into the rivers. And the invasive species. Invasive species are those species those enter into the country from the different part of the world. That invasive species is the water hyacinth. When you're traveling through the trains, you're finding some of the water bodies are captured by the green color plant. That green color plant is the water hyacinth. That was introduced by the Britisher in India for the beautification specifically. But this captures the complete water body and lead to the decrease in the oxygen level of the water body and leads to the drought in that area, or drying up those water body. It can be the lake, or in some of the area like the stagnant water condition में, that can be the other thing also. So the next point is the pollution. So pollution domestic flow की वजह से, agriculture waste की वजह से, industrial waste की वजह से, and due to the invasive species also, that lead to the drought in these river water condition. Yes, operational नवाज ना सीवेज का टेरर ऑफ बंगाल बोलते हैं. इन्वेसिव स्पीसीज लाइक द वाटर हाइसिंथ इज नोन एज द टेरर ऑफ बंगाल. इसका सेकंड नेम है टेरर ऑफ बंगाल. बिकॉज अफेक्ट द मोस्ट ऑफ द एरिया ऑफ दिस रीजन. द टेरर ऑफ बंगाल के नाम से जाना जाता है. नेक्स्ट क्या हो सकता है? Next is the sand mining. Sand mining in the area, in the river basins में से sand mining होता है. तो जितना भी water level होता है that going to be decreased because of the mining and absorbed by the ground water. Sand mining जितना ज़्यादा होगा उतना ज़्यादा river का water level कम होना होगा. So in the most of the cases where the river dried up, the sand mining looks at the major issue. जहाँ पे sand mining हुआ है, unregulated sand minings, it caused the erosion specifically. It's lead to the erosion. And the unregulated sand mining. Unregulated sand mining. The next point is the urbanization. Urbanization and encroachment. Urbanization and encroachment. In the last year, I hope you were in Delhi during the time of monsoon, like in the July, August, September के time पे यमुना rivers में outflow हुआ, overflow हुआ due to the monsoon. And the part of the eastern Delhi, the water fills up due to the floods in that floods like condition, or the especially the floods. Why that happened? Because the most of the part of the Yamuna is encroached by the people. जो river basin होता है specifically, वहां पे लोगों ने घर बना दिए. That encroached part को कैप्चर कर लिया गया, तो river का जो एरिया, river capture zone जो होते हैं, that is decreased now. बहुत कम अमाउंट में है, बहुत कम एरिया में है. If the water level is increasing in the few meter, this area is going to be drawn down, और डूबना शुरू हो जाते हैं. कैप्चरिंग की वजह से रिवर का एरिया, रिवर का फ्लो इफेक्ट हुआ, रिवर का फ्लो इफेक्ट होने की वजह से दैट लीड टू द कंडीशन ऑफ द ड्रॉट ऑल्सो. Urbanization, as we are moving from rural to urban and there's a high migration from the rural to urban, urbanizations in the river capture zone, the same like the condition, they are building the high buildings, the number of the people are surviving there increase continuously, building a pressure on that area that affecting the river flow continuously. रिवर का फ्लो डाइवर्ट होते होते कंटिन्यूसली एक बहुत कम स्पेस में चला जाता है. दैट्स इंक्रीज द वाटर कंजम्पशन एज वेल. अगर एनक्रोचमेंट होगा और अर्बनाइजेशन होगा, रिवर वाटर यूसेज भी बढ़ेगा. वाटर यूसेज बढ़ेगा तो दैट विल लीड टू द डिक्रीज इन द वाटर लेवल देयर. सो द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज द अर्बनाइजेशन एंड एनक्रोचमेंट ऑफ द रिवर एरिया. तो आप लिख लीजिए द सैंड माइनिंग एंड द अर्बनाइजेशन एंड द एनक्रोचमेंट. The next point in this, the lack of conservation efforts. Everybody know the water is life, life is water, but we are not focusing on how to save water, how to control the consumption of the water, how we can focus on the conservation. So we are not focusing on the conservation effort. If we are using anything, ठीक है हमने use किया because it's required, it's a human being requirement. But if we are not focusing on the conservation efforts for the future generation, these natural resources will not be available. There is a term known as the sustainable development, or the sustainable use of the resources. We are not focusing on the sustainable use, but we are focusing toward how we can exploit most. ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा हम कैसे exploit कर सकते हैं. That is, we are focusing on specifically. There was a essay topics in the UPSC, I think in 2016. Water everywhere, but no drops to drink. During the monsoon time, there is a huge water flow in the country. But after the monsoon, in the next summer, in between April, May and June, we are looking like the condition, the people are dying due to the waters, the animals are dying due to the waters. There's a report day before yesterday, the 2 elephants died in Karnataka due to the lack of water. They traveled 50 kilometers, but they don't find any water resource, and they died due to the water. In Bengaluru specifically, the urban Bengaluru, I'm talking about the urban Bengaluru, most of the techie firms allowed for work from homes because of the water shortage in that area. And the people were moving from urban to rural at that time. We are looking for the rural से urban हो रहा है migration, but due to the shortage of the resources, because the men are looking toward the resources, due to the shortage of the water resources, they start moving from urban to rural again. That's the conservation of the resources is required when we are looking toward to save the water resources. So what can be the efforts? These are the regions. Let's repeat again what can be the major regions. The first region we look at the deforestation on the bank of the river. The second river was the climate change, that can be the El Nino, that can be the increase in the temperature. The third region was the building or construction of the dams that led to the diversion of the water and the inflow of the river water. The fourth region was pollution. The pollution can be multiple kinds: domestic, agriculture, industrial, and due to the invasive species also. The next we discussed about the sand mining, the uncontrolled sand mining. Next was the urbanization and encroachment and the lack of conservation efforts. These were the regions, how they affect the water flow, how they lead to the condition like drought in the country or the specific area of the country. There can be the mains question specifically where you can use the regions which lead to the drought like condition in the area. So you can mention these regions in the form of formats, like आप एक schematic भी बना सकते हैं, तो it will save your time. You can write the 7 regions, it will save your time, and you can also add the data as we discussed in the starting of the question there. Now, what can be the efforts? How we can save that? कैसे बचा सकते हैं? हमने रीजन्स तो देख लिए हैं, तो हाउ वी कैन बी एड्रेस द इशू, कैसे कर सकते हैं? व्हाट कैन बी द कंजर्वेशन मेजर्स? डीसैलिनाइजेशन इज द लाइक वन ड्यूरिंग द डैम्स में डीसैलिनाइजेशन कर सकते हैं, लेकिन इफ द रिवर इज रिवर में ही ड्रोट होगा तो डैम्स में वाटर कहां से आएगा? तो फर्स्ट इज watershed management. How to manage the water? The first is collection of rainwater or rainwater harvesting. Usage of water, control the usage of water. Control the usage of water. इसी में लिखेंगे थर्ड, soil moisture conservation. Soil moisture conservation. In India, most of the like the 90%, it's the data, almost 92% of the drinking water or the water we can use on a daily basis is used for the irrigation purpose. And specifically in the northwestern India, the most of the groundwater is used for the irrigation purpose. So the next point can be, next point क्या हो सकता है? बेटर इरिगेशन प्रैक्टिसेस. जहां जहां पे ज्यादा यूज करते हैं उसी को हमें कंट्रोल करना, सिंपल सा फंडा होता है. बेटर इरिगेशन प्रैक्टिसेस. व्हाट कैन बी वी डू? अभी हम वी आर फोकसिंग ऑन द फ्लड इरिगेशन, जहां पे पूरे फील्ड को फ्लड कर दिया जाता है वाटर से. वी कैन फोकस ऑन द स्प्रिंकलर इरिगेशन. स्प्रिंकलर इरिगेशन. Better irrigation practices, we can focus on the sprinkler irrigation. By strict measure against illegal sand mining, yes, control of the illegal sand mining. Illegal sand mining को कंट्रोल करना है. Designed way of urbanization. Designed way of urbanization. Decrease the river encroached area. Next point can be reforestation or reforestation on the side of the bank of the river. Reforestation on side bank of the river. Reforestation or afforestation and vegetative cover. We can also call this as a afforestation के दोबारा से forest लगाना. Increase the vegetative cover. Afforestation and the vegetative cover. Do this possible without the participation of people? कुछ भी हम कर सकते हैं कि लोग पार्टिसिपेट ना करें. We can lead a successful project. लाइक स्वच्छ भारत मिशन क्यों पॉसिबल हुआ? ड्यू टू द पब्लिक पार्टिसिपेशन. हर घर जल, लाइक द वाटर फ्रॉम द टैप, हर घर जल, द मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ वाटर इनिशिएटिव, सक्सेसफुल ड्यू टू द पीपल पार्टिसिपेशन. डिजिटल इंडिया, द यूसेज ऑफ द यूपीआई is successful due to the people participation, the community participation. So the next point here, the increase community participation. Control extraction of groundwater. Control extraction of groundwater. Control proper dredging of river channels. Yes, Anuj, it's a good point. What are the next point is the interlinking of rivers. Interlinking of rivers, but star mark if it's ecological feasible. Interlinking of rivers if it ecological feasible. ऐसा ना हो कि हमने इंटरलिंकिंग कर दिया है बट इट इज highly impacting the ecology of that area. Ecology means it's affecting the flora and the fauna of that area. If the flora and fauna are affected, river will automatically affected due to the interlinkage. Okay, so these are the few steps we can take. Or next last we can write about the policy reforms. या कहीं पे भी लिख सकते हो. This is the universal point. कहीं पे भी है तो policy reforms हमें चाहिए. Policy reforms in the water usage or the water managements. Yes, proper sewage treatment facility होना चाहिए हर जगह. That like जो छोटे छोटे points हैं वो बाद में ऐड कर सकते हो, but first focus on the major changing points. कहाँ कहाँ पे major change हो सकता है. Now we discuss about the data related to the droughts. Now let's look at the rivers names. Those are affected due to these droughts. The 13 rivers name वो आपके लिए बहुत important है for the prelims perspective. These are the rivers which having no water right now. These are dried up. Rushikilya river कहाँ पे है? Any idea? Odisha. Rushikilya river in Odisha. So you can write the name Rushikilya river, Bahuda river, Vamsadra, Nagavali, Sarada, Tamileru, Peleru, Iliru, Gundalakama, Musi. Musi is the tributary of Krishna. Muneru, Tandava, Varaha. These are the 13 rivers which are affected due to the drought. Yes, Anuj, you can use this as a like a हिवारे बाजार में जो केस स्टडी है आप you can use कर सकते हो उसको भी as a water उसमें. The type of the question can be framed. The one type they can give the name of the 4 rivers. How many of the following rivers are recently dried up? चारों में से कौन सी dried up होगी? Second condition they can ask you about the detail of the any of them. किसी का भी small detail पूछा जा सकता है. These rivers are the tributary of which major river, flowing through the which states, flowing through how many states. This type of the question can also be framed. So this will be your homework. You will look at the 3-4 lines related to the each river. So you can easily answer the question that going to be asked in the next prelim specifically. Okay. So Rushikulya, Bahuda, Vamsadra, Nagavali, Sarda, Tamileru, Paleru, Gundalakama, Iluru, Musi, Muneru, Tandava and Varaha. These are the 13 rivers. The details are given by the Central Water Commission. Central Water Commission is a major body which are looking at the management of the water resources in the country. Now we will see the few major river system like the Mahanadi river. We will look at specifically 3: Mahanadi, Godavari and the Kaveri. So these are the 3 major river system जिनका tributary effect हो रहा है specifically due to the water storage. So Mahanadi river is originate from the Chhattisgarh, from the south of Amarkantak hills. It originate from the Chhattisgarh, from the Amarkantak hills. It specifically flow through Jharkhand, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh. So this information is important. Flowing through the 5 states: Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Jharkhand, Maharashtra and the Madhya Pradesh. Now they are specifically focused on the statement kind of the question. Initially क्या होता था कि आपको एक simple option आता था कि what are the major tributary of the Mahanadi. Now you will find the 3 statements. Mahanadi rivers flow through the 5 states, or maybe they can give the option of 4, or they can confuse with the name of the another neighboring states. Mahanadi, instead of the Amarkantak, they will give to Trimbakeshwar, jahan se Godavari hoti hai. These are bounded by the central India hills on the north, by the eastern Ghats on the south, and Mycala range of the west. Now you should look at the mountainous range as well near these river. Mountainous range, ये भी आपको देखना होगा near the river. So now let's look at the tributary. What are the major tributary of the Mahanadi? Mahanadi river. The left bank tributary are the Sionath. You can write the Sionath river, Hasdeo, Mand, Ib. These are the left bank tributary. Sionath, Hasdeo, Mand, and Ib. The right bank tributary are Ong, Tel, and Jog. These are the 7 major tributary of the Mahanadi. 4 on the left bank sides and the 3 on the right bank sides. If we are looking at the graph map of this river, so we can look at the same here. Sionath, Hasdeo, Mand, Tel, Daya, Mahanadi. These are the river flow, or these can be the river capturing area in the specifically states. Now let's move to the next river, the Godavari river system. This is the longest peninsular river and the 3rd largest river in India. Longest peninsular and the 3rd largest river in India, also known as the Dakshin Ganga भी इसको बोला जाता है specifically. Like northern में Ganga river है, specifically it's treated as a Ganga of the southern India. Originate from the Trimbake in the Western Ghats in the Nasik district in Maharashtra. इससे related पहले UPSC question भी पूछ चुका है from this information. Now there are the few tributaries, the right bank and the left bank. Left bank like the Kadana, Purna, Dudhna, Penganga, Venganga, Pranhita, Indravari, Sabari, Seluri. ये ऑप्शंस में आ चुके हैं पहले से. यूपीएससी इन चारों को ऑप्शंस में दे चुका. राइट बैंक ट्रिब्यूटरी मूला, परावरा, धरना, दिस कैन ऑल, ये भी पूछा जा चुका है एंड ये भी पूछा जा चुका. मंजरा एंड मन्नेर. If you look at the pattern of the UPSC questions, you will find out they are making the only next question from the question given in the previous year, options given in the previous year. तो वहां से derive हो जाते हैं in the most of the cases question जो उनके favorite area होते हैं. तो whenever you are analyzing your previous year question, you should focus on the options as well. So what can be the next question derived from these options? Okay, so let's move to the next. This is the area. You can make this kind of the chart for yourself to remember easily the left bank and the right bank. Otherwise it's become very difficult to remember the rivers name which are the left bank and which is the right bank, because human beings having a pictorial memory. हम कोई भी पेज देख रहे हैं तो उसका पिक्चर्स हमारे होते हैं कि लेफ्ट साइड में ये लिखा हुआ है, राइट साइड में ये लिखा हुआ है, ये एग्जांपल्स लिखा हुआ, तो वी आर हैविंग अ पिक्टोरियल मेमोरी. तो इफ यू आर मेकिंग अ पिक्टोरियल graph of the pictorial diagrams of the rivers or the river system or the each river system given in your syllabus, then it will be easy to remember here. Next river and the last river is the Krishna river system. This is the second longest river in the peninsula that flow toward the east. Originates from the Mahabaleshwar in the Western Ghats. Krishna river originates from the Mahabaleshwar. And the states from its flowing Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Karnataka. Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, and the Karnataka only flowing from the 3 states. Now specifically look at the tributary. The Bhima is the second largest tributary of this river, and Tungbhadra, this also has been asked. पहले पूछा जा चुका है. Tungbhadra river. This is the largest tributary. Musi, this is also asked by the UPSC. मुनेरू, पलेरू, डोन. कोयना भी पूछा जा चुका है, दूध गंगा भी पूछा जा चुका है, घाट प्रभा भी पूछा जा चुका है. So you should also know whenever you are reading anything कि पहले क्या क्या पूछे जा चुके हैं. So you can be more focused on these area. So वेना, कोयना, पंचगंगा, दूधगंगा, घाट प्रभा, मालप्रभा and Tungbhadra are the right bank tributary, and the Bhima, Musi, Muneru, Paleru and Don are the left bank tributary. You can also make the mnemonics according to you, which language suits you. You can make the mnemonics either in Hindi or English or any other language you want to make. Let's look at the question that has been asked in the UPSC. This was a question asked in the 2013. The Narmada River flowed to the west, while the most other large peninsular river flowed to the east. Why? ज्योग्राफी ऑप्शनल है आप लोगों का, तो इजीली आप लोगों को पता होना चाहिए. व्हाट कैन बी द आंसर? ऑनलाइन अनुज, देवग्रह, खुशी, विगाई, शिवानी, लवासना. तो व्हाट कैन बी द आंसर? You are saying A? A. Answer is A. It's occupy a linear rift valley. That's why it's flowing through the west. So answer is A here. Next question that was asked in the 2009. There are no east flowing rivers in the Kerala. There are no west flowing rivers in the Madhya Pradesh. Yes, Lavashna, yes, Anu's answer was right one. In this question, what will be the answer? Now you can see the type of question they are asking. हमने रिवर्स पढ़ा, उन्होंने पूछा कि स्टेट्स में है ही नहीं. So your mind should be open when you're reading any of the topics. The type of the question they are framing on it. The one type is tributary. The second type is this kind. The third type जो मैंने आपको पहले दिखाया, ये वाला, specifically information about the river. This is the basics of the geography. Why the rivers are flowing to the east or west. So you should update your information accordingly. How the UPSC is framing the questions there. So what can be the answer? There are no east flowing rivers in the Kerala. मध्य प्रदेश में वेस्ट फ्लोइंग रिवर्स तो होगी ही. कौन सी है? नर्मदा. तो ये तो आपने हटा दिया. ये भी गलत है. केरला में भी है. तो आंसर विल बी नीदर वन नॉर टू. So you should focus on your study as the requirement of the examination. Which topic in the news specifically, you should know the dimensions of the topic, in which area we need to read the topics. This topic was from the Down to Earth magazine specifically. The topic is just telling us about the drought area, drought condition and the data. Just only that was given in the half an paragraph. How to expand the topic, what are the main criteria, what we can include in this topic, and which type of the question can be asked in the UPSC, we should know. This is the main question. You can read the questions and try to give the answer. Like the drought has been recognized as a digester. It's specifically related to the DM, but the factor is drought here. Drought has been recognized as a digester in view of spatial expense, temporal duration, slow onset, lasting effect to the vulnerable sections. With a focus on September 2000 NDMA guidelines, discuss the mechanisms, deal with the El Nino and the La Nino fallouts in the India. So they linked the drought with each condition, climatic condition, affecting to the population and the rules and regulations. तो एक टॉपिक था सिंगल ड्रोट. They linked with the 3 dimensions. If you are only thinking about 1 dimensions, कैसे ड्रोट होता है, you will not be able to write the answer. कैसे affect करता है, what are the criteria for the droughts, how it is affecting the vulnerable sections, guidelines according to the NDMA and the El Nino or La Nina आता है, तो how they can save the people from the El Nino and the La Nina. This is the question asked in the UPSC 2014 related to the drought. There can be the many other questions related to the droughts, like recent maybe कुछ day before yesterday in the Dubai specifically cloud burst हुआ है. What's the reason for it? वो तो मना कर रहे हैं. गवर्नमेंट इज नॉट सेइंग कि हमने नहीं कराया. न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ रहे हो आप लोग, तो start reading the paper. There was a condition formed in that condition due to the low pressure in the ground, the air start rising up, and again the low pressure on the upper area as well, on the atmosphere as well. So both are moving toward each other. Due to the atmosphere pressure, both the area collides with each other, that lead to the region of the cloud burst. तो एज ए जोग्राफिकल फिनोमिना है, आप लोग इसको केस स्टडी में ऐड कर सकते हो, अपने ऑप्शनल की केस स्टडी में लिख सकते हो. तो these are the rare phenomena, those fetch the extra marks for you in the paper. Otherwise everybody know the geology. सबको पता ही क्लाइमेटोलॉजी क्या है, मॉनसून क्यों आता है, हर किसी को पता है. Those who are sitting in the coaching classes, they know about these things. Until and unless you are not adding an extra efforts, you are not adding any extra case study examples in it, you are not explaining a phenomena well, you are not getting good marks. तो हर एक क्वेश्चन में एक एक मार्क्स भी एक्स्ट्रा लेके आओगे तो 50 मार्क्स बढ़ जाएंगे आपके. एक पेपर में 28 क्वेश्चन के आसपास होते हैं शायद. तो दैट विल इंक्रीज द मार्क्स ऑन अ ह्यूज रेंज. तो वो एक्स्ट्रा वैल्यू एडिशन वो आप खुद से ही कर सकते हैं. इफ यू आर रीडिंग एनी मटेरियल, यू आर रीडिंग एनी रिसोर्सेज, यू आर रीडिंग न्यूज़पेपर, यू आर रीडिंग मैगजीन्स, तो यू शुड अपडेट योर डेटा, अपडेट योर एग्जाम्पल्स इन योर नोट्स इटसेल्फ. साइड बाय साइड करते चलो, ताकि जब लास्ट में आप रिवाइज करोगे तो यू हैव अ कंप्लीट डेटा विद यू, यू हैव अ कंप्लीट आइडिया विद यू. ओके, so this is from my side. If you have any doubt regarding this topic, you can ask me, or otherwise we can meet in the next class on Friday at 2:30. In the Friday class, I'm covering the one topic in a week, specifically those who are specifically important for your mains classes. Idea is like from the next month we are trying to take the 5-6 classes with the subject wise. So अप्रैल मंथ में पॉलिटी की क्या कंडीशन हुई है, इकोनॉमी का क्या हुआ है, ज्योग्राफी में क्या आया है, डीएम में क्या. सो यू हैव नोट्स ऑफ द लास्ट अप्रैल मंथ इन द मे. आपको एक तरीके से एक साथ मिल जाएंगे सारे नोट्स. सो इट विल बी इजी फॉर यू हाउ टू रीड द डिफरेंट टॉपिक्स एंड व्हाट आर द इंपॉर्टेंट इन द टॉपिक. ओके, सो वी विल मीट ऑन द नेक्स्ट फ्राइडे एट द सेम टाइम 2:30. ओके Anuj, specifically Operation Lavasna, Shivani, we will meet on the next Friday. Yes, you can cite the floods in Afghanistan also, the reason behind it. Even in the floods in the African countries also. Okay, Libya floods, the Libya floods. PPT I will share, Debagraha, I will share with you on your Telegram groups, or you can find in your portal itself. I will share this PPT, Debagraha. Okay, so we will meet on Friday at 2:30. Thank you everyone. Thank you.